Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We back. Got a new Patrick CC. We got the victims of Bill Burr. Don't know what this could be about. We're gonna find out. What was one of the videos we talked about? You know what I'm saying, with the gatekeeping of a comedy. Mm-hmm. It is a such thing as gatekeeping a comedy, but I don't know what we're getting with when it comes down to Bill Burr. Yeah, he's off the chain. He's a little screw sometimes, man. So with that being said, make sure you check out the links in the description box. Down below. You already know where to go, man. You want the first support, all you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
Facts, man. But let's go ahead and hop into this one. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Bill Burr's comedic persona is the loud, overconfident guy at the end of the bar. He fearlessly voices exactly what is on his mind, whether he is on daytime television or sitting across the table from you. However, Bill cannot be dismissed as some blue-collar loudmouth drunk. He is highly educated and will accurately expose your insecurities. These are some of the people who have been trolled, intimidated, and dismantled by the gab of Bill Burr, starting with Theo, one of the sweetest and most beloved comedians who was robbed of his charm. In 2019, Theo invited Bill to be on his This Past Weekend podcast. At this point in his career, Theo was just starting to become a household name. However, Bill wasn't very familiar with his material nor his fan base, which set the conversation off to a weird start. Theo was a huge fan of Bill, and naturally started picking Bill's brain about the comedy and entertainment industry. So from the beginning, they established a hierarchy where Theo seems like an aspiring comic looking for advice.
I was just experienced a ton of stress, man, burnt out. You know, I've been on the same tour for this hour for almost over a year now.
You got to toughen up, man.
Yeah, you're right, huh?
You know,
what do I do?
Camouflage hat, looking like a fucking backwoods guy, all tough and shit. You can't handle doing your hour again. I mean, come on, man, suck it up.
Bill probably had a hard time relating to Theo's mental health struggles since he grew up around blue-collar Boston men who worked themselves into an early grave. Then again, this was just harmless ball busting, but an early sign of what was about to come.
I just think I have a tough time working with other people sometimes, you know? I just think
I would say get over that. Get over yourself and get over that, because there's a lot of great people in this business and you're going to miss out. And I don't know.
No,
you know what?
I
You'll
totally
say
respect
your loved ones will save money on the funeral costs because no one's going to go, so there's not going to be too many snacks they got to put together.
You could see Bill was about to be more serious.
Bill was going to go to a whole deeper.
And then he was like, nope, I'm going this direction. Yeah.
But no, I feel like he was going. At first he was finna go deeper. Then he decided to do a little comic relief to it.
No, I'm not going there.
And Bill does come off as the type of guy to just give you more straight to the point, straight like it is.
Yeah, super blunt.
I'm not finna I think that's what a lot of people nowadays want out of people, is people to kind of sugarcoat stuff for them or give them to with a light jab. We are living in a more softer generation of people, and a lot of people that don't want it. You ask for advice, but then somebody tell you the advice. You get sensitive to what they say, but you ask for it, you know? So don't be, especially somebody like him who's been in the ranks for years. He's a seasoned veteran when it comes down to the comedy game. Yeah. So you gotta take it how it is.
But then paused and decided to defer to a silly joke. That wouldn't last.
She'd have a rough day and she'd come in and...
I don't remember the whole show.
I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
If I can explain it to you.
Okay.
Guy just I don't know what that is. All right.
No, I believe it.
I'm not into it. I don't want to hear it. I got it. Your show. Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about old shows then.
We don't have to.
Patty Duke. What about that?
You made me feel like an asshole, like that was the 15th time I brought it up.
Bill is becoming increasingly agitated with him, but Theo is making a huge mistake here. Theo is known for his airheaded yet poetic thoughts about life. He also speaks exactly what is on his mind, but it feels like the intrusive thoughts of someone with more heart than brains. Theo keeps switching in and out of being serious and being funny, making it difficult for Bill to riff with him. They both can't decide when the other person is making a joke or being serious, and by the end, Theo felt defeated and Bill could sense it.
What about the nice guys? Oh, you got to see that.
Oh, what's the Nice Guys?
No, I don't know. I think you're looking down. You got your
No, I'll
jaw
watch
out.
it.
You got your jaw out. It's very
No.
confrontation. I'm feeling like you're not liking my suggestions. You just like you like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This guy's dead to me. He's dead to me.
This was like watching two
Bill was peeping the body language.
Yeah.
And with comedians, I feel like comedians really have to, because they so used to working a crowd, they have to learn how to read body language and read the mood and and so
Read
him,
the room.
yeah. So that's what he's doing. Like that's something dope though, to be able to really be able to read the room, no matter what. Like you know what I'm saying, from that experience.
Yeah.
And Theo was giving him that like he said, that agitated, irritated vibe, and he like, all right, I don't want to just walk out because then that'll be rude, but we can kind of wrap this up so we can both just go on our separate ways type.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This guy's dead to me. He's dead to me.
This was like watching two guys having to hang out because their wives are friends. This is what it looks like when your two cool friends meet for the first time and don't hit it off like you thought. Bill said he had a great time, but fans provided empathy for Theo since they know he is humble and vulnerable. They could tell he was disappointed with himself, and Theo addressed the pod a few days later.
He was Bill Burr to a T. He's brash. He's poignant. He's exact. You know, he really is like a NASA, you know, like a rocket, you know, and I'm more like sometimes like Phil Armstrong, you know. You find me just kind of moseying around on the moon, you know, monitoring how I feel.
You see, Bill only gets serious when you make him. Sometimes it's better to just sit back and let him beat you up a little bit, like how Joe Rogan did after Bill absolutely dismantled him.
Want people to walk down the street with a mask on?
Let's not start this, Joe.
Do you, though?
Let's not start this, okay?
Let's start it.
I don't want to start this. I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you with no medical degree, with an American flag behind you, smoking a cigar, acting like we know what's up. I just love how wearing a mask became like this like soft thing that you were doing, like being courteous.
Bitches.
Being courteous. Why is it for bitches? That was so
You're wearing a
stupid.
mask. First of all,
Oh, God, you're so tough with your open nose and throat. Gee, Joe, and your 5 o'clock shadow. This is a man right here. A man doesn't wear a mask.
But this wasn't the only time Joe just gave up after Bill roasted him.
Does it make you more aggressive?
What?
Elk.
No, Joe, you lunatic. Somebody gets in my face, that might cause me to get more lunatic. I eat a little bit of protein. You had to beat the fuck out of people for like 3 decades before you could like chill, smoke a little weed, put on your Little Rascals hat, and just fucking chill out. You don't understand. I love him to death, but this guy is the most testosterone filled dude I've ever met. That's why I love him. I love him.
Notice how Bill reaffirms that he loves Joe despite him being the butt of the joke. He often reminds people it's okay to laugh at themselves. Making fun is his way of showing love towards someone. A perfect example of this is Bill's endless jokes towards Colin Cowherd, who hosted a sports radio show on ESPN. Him and Bill are great friends, which is why Colin knows to just laugh when Bill is sending shots his way.
A lot of people think that they're uncomfortable with my elevation. Are you uncomfortable with it?
No, I just see all of your insecurities.
Giant desk.
When guys come and sit on the couch, I go right after them. Don't you respect me for that?
No, I don't. Your big dumb desk hiding behind your microphone.
And don't even think about asking Bill a dumb question.
You're in your comedy prime right now. Like this is you got about 8 years left.
How do you judge that?
Because your energy level is high. You're nimble. I mean, dude.
And what do you do? I'm not like an athlete. I'm going to blow out an Achilles and I can't write a joke anymore.
Like I said, Colin knows how to laugh it off and remain in good spirits. But some people think Bill is actually...
But you should though. Like I feel like everybody should like.
Sorry.
No, go.
No, I'm sorry. You
go.
No, I'm about to say, I think for some people, when you don't like, I guess, truly have a relationship with someone or like a friendship, and certain things, I guess, for some people can catch you off guard.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, sensitive and don't know how to take certain things. So it can probably, you could take it the wrong way or it can hit a nerve or whatever the case may be. But my thing is, obviously, you know who the person is before you invite them on whatever platform you're inviting them on. You know what they.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Just let me piggyback on what you said. they might think they know who they're talking to, but they really don't know. Because the only thing they know is a Bill Burr, the comedian, or Bill Burr, the actor. They don't know who's Bill Burr is.
Right, and that's
you know
why I
what I'm
said in the beginning, if you don't truly have a relationship or friendship, you won't know how to take him.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's been on interview after interview. I'm pretty sure he gives the same energy that he gives on stage.
Study it.
So you already know that 9 times out of 10, this is how he coming. So you shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and then like you said with Theo, like toughen up. Like you're going into the entertainment business. The entertainment business is not for the weak.
Yeah,
no matter what level it is.
Skin, no matter what level.
So as you put yourself, like, because a lot of people, they're putting themselves on the internet and they chase it, because a lot of people nowadays don't want to have such this popularity, especially when it's the internet, but they don't have that tough skin. You gotta tough enough to be some type of notoriety, because this comes with it.
The insecure one. Sometimes a harmless question is asked, and Bill is the one who takes it the wrong way.
Bill, are you the head writer on the show, or how do you work in the writers' room on the show? Because you write your stand-up specials, obviously you're a writer, but you've never really written on a sitcom before. If you go through your credits, you hadn't really been on a show before.
Why'd you have to bring that up? Just right out of the gate, he goes negative. Never really saw you write on anything before, Bill. There was all these other nice things on your IMDb page I could have brought up, but I noticed this one glaring thing that you've never done.
Sure, maybe the interviewer could have rephrased the question to, how different is writing comedy on a show versus on stage? It was pretty clear this guy was not trying to offend him. The same thing can be said about this interviewer.
You're in the Emily Fan Cave hanging out with actor-comedian Bill Burr.
I like that you said actor-comedian.
Well, you're an
I
actor-
usually go comedian-actor. Look, dude, if you saw my IMDb page, you'd definitely know it was comedian-actor. Yeah, it's a quick read.
After all, Bill admits himself that he had a hard time understanding people's intentions throughout his whole life, which usually led to anger or jokes. If someone was really nice, I would just be like, get away from me. If someone was an asshole, it's like, oh, that seems familiar. For whatever reason, I don't like being complimented. Well, fortunately for Bill, he didn't have to worry about being complimented on this next one, because he made enemies with the entire city of Philadelphia after they relentlessly booed him during his set. While Bill was developing as a comedian in the 90s and early 2000s, he gained some notoriety on Comedy Central Presents and through regular appearances in The Chappelle Show, but many attribute a large jump in Bill's popularity to the Opie and Anthony radio show, where he's regularly been a guest over the years. In 2006, many Opie and Anthony show regulars were on the Traveling Virus Comedy Tour, such as Tracy Morgan, Bob Saget, Ralphie May, and Patrice O'Neal, to name a few. The tour was very successful, with the second show in the lineup breaking Jay Leno's record for the most tickets sold for a comedy show at New Jersey's PNC Bank Arts Center. However, the third show in Camden, New Jersey, just across the Delaware River from Philadelphia, didn't go nearly as well. The drunk and unruly Philly crowd on a hot afternoon outdoor show set the tone by booing the opening act off stage. They'd continued to behave poorly and on the verge of booing the rest of the night, as those who had yet to perform were dreading their set. Tracy Morgan gave up 7 minutes into a 20-minute set. Bob Saget and Patrice O'Neal did well, but Bill wasn't having it with this crowd. He got defensive on behalf of his comedian friends, which led to an all-out roast session from the beginning.
Also, we have reacted to this roast session before. But YouTube did take it down from us because they restricted it, demonetized it, and then removed it. So we no longer. If y'all, I should post it on Patreon and have it available over there, because it was very, very funny for us. We have plenty of Bill Burr comedy over on the channel, but we've heard this rant before. Just to let y'all know.
People, you know what, you fucking losers? I hope you all fucking die, and I hope the fucking Eagles never win the Super Bowl. Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, he wasn't holding back.
Let's talk about heart disease, something you're all gonna fucking die of, and I'm gonna laugh at your fucking funerals. It's gonna be great. You're all gonna get fucking cancer, which is fantastic, because all your fucking heads are shaved anyways. No one's even gonna notice.
If you can believe it, it gets so much worse. Every minute that goes by, he decimates every possible thing about Philadelphia. He says if there was a terrorist attack on Philly, nobody would care.
Rocky is your hero. The whole pride of your city is built around a guy who doesn't even exist.
A man interrupts him from the crowd. Bill responds.
What do you have to say, sir? Never passed the fucking 8th grade. What brilliant shit are you gonna fucking tell me, huh? Go back to the dock and go unload some shit. You warehouse working, smoking disappointment for your mother.
Obviously, most people were offended, but others started to respect his determination to fight an entire crowd of angry people.
7 minutes left. 7 motherfucking minutes left. And I'm doing all f***ing 7.
As the minutes count down, the insults progressively get more bleak, until the end where he says he wishes he had a weapon to use on every single person in the crowd, and in some backwards twist of fate, they loved it, and cheered for him as he quadrupled down on his hatred towards them while walking off stage.
Listen, I'm out of time. You guys were here, man. Thank you very much. All of you go f*** yourselves in your own assholes. Have a good night.
Bill single-handedly destroyed everything the city of Philadelphia loves, and they cheered for him as he left the stage. This rant made national headlines. Bill's fame leveled up immensely, but he claims it didn't help him sell more tickets. It definitely stamped his persona of being an unruly jerk with a short temper that will say literally anything that is on his mind. In retrospect, Bill believes he was unprofessional and threw gas on the Philly crowd fire. He doesn't regret it, but he never wanted people to think that he is just a shock jock with a loud mouth. He spent the next decade proving to the world that he is actually an artistic comedian who is just a tad bit savage at times. And he did his best trying to be sensitive during his interview with Ethan Klein, but eventually he ran out of patience. Ethan Klein is one half of the H3H3 duo with his wife Hila. Ethan developed a reputation on YouTube over the years for being a hilarious reaction channel. He created iconic skits and bits that are worthy of being considered YouTube Hall of Fame. In short, people thought he was funny. But while sitting across from a comic legend on the H3 podcast, Ethan was nervous.
You know what I mean? If you went to whatever Comic-Con of podcasting, would you be nervous?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're an apprehensive
talking
person.
to a nervous guy.
I'm so neurotic. I am nervous. I'm nervous right now.
Okay.
Very nervous.
I don't think that's going to help.
How do you?
Despite this, Ethan remained pretty smooth for the first hour, but he would interrupt Bill a lot.
I don't know. I mean, you're right. You're really.
I mean, he's doing this. I mean, how much? What does that do? You need.
So you got this kicked out of you for a while.
So it's OCD.
You kind of.
You know, the thing is, I've noticed with like podcasters, right?
Yeah.
Podcasters. How do I say this? Everybody wants to go into this podcast and journalism world, right? But nobody has the experience or the knowledge or the education behind themselves of being a podcaster journalist. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have to learn the hard way, and a lot of people don't understand the information. They're just a consumer, so they don't really get it. You know what I'm saying? But because we both have taken journalism class, and honestly, respect journalists. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? After taking the class, I really don't like it because I get it, and I know what they have to go through, and as a because I throw podcasting under like journalism. You know what I'm saying? It's a way you're supposed to interview people. And I see a lot of people honestly don't know how to interview. Yeah. Because they don't know how, even with like podcasts and just anything like talking relation. Yeah. Me, I'm not perfect at it myself because even though I took a journalism class, I'm so like over wordy. You know what I'm saying? I use too many words. Yeah. And that's the wrong way to handle journalism. But with him interrupting him so much and like wanting to chime in, you allow Bill to like actually get something out and kind of know what point you want to kind of piggyback off of. Yeah. You can't let him talk too much because if you let him talk too much, by the time you want to voice your opinion on one part of it, it's kind of irrelevant then. Facts. And that's the reason why sometimes you interrupt me. Facts. And we've had that discussion off camera. We just do that in a regular day life. But yeah.
I also wonder if the interruption is caused by the nerves as well. True. Like, because I'm wondering, like, it'll be different if he does it all the time, which I don't know. Like when you bring other people or, him and his wife, you having just one by themselves, a podcast, by themselves. If he's always like that, or is it just in this moment because he's super nervous with the person he's sitting across from?
Is he starstruck?
Cause especially you wanted to be in that lane or you were in that lane, the comedian lane, and you're sitting across from someone that is, you know what I'm saying? Like you were either looked up to or a fan of at some point, you know, in your career. So yeah, it could just be nerves, and you just like, you know what I'm saying?
And sometimes low key, like they'll be like kind of visually reading some of these people too. And I get where he going at with it, because you can kind of see, and with his interaction with some of these people, you're like, you call yourself a comedian? I'm a comedian. But you call yourself a comedian?
Yeah. You're
nothing like me. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I get what you mean. But
I'm saying that he does. It looks as though he reads certain people.
Yeah, most definitely. But it could just be from nerves. But if he does it all the time, then that's a different story.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Oh, yours? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose you. I have no idea.
You could tell Bill was getting increasingly more frustrated when he would be trying to answer a question, then Ethan would just say, right, and try to finish his answer for him. However, things got really awkward when Ethan started pressing a question that Bill did not want to answer.
It seems like you're in love with your daughter, hearing you talk about her on the podcast.
Jesus Christ. Well, you're pretty perceptive. You think you care about your own child.
Listen.
You also had a zillion kids, so I mean, yeah.
Really? How many siblings do you have?
I don't know, dude. The internet's too fucking weird to give out all that information.
Oh, you don't even want to say how many because you're afraid that it will
by all means,
compromise
keep
your
talking
privacy.
about it. Is there any way you can cut this out? I'm honest, dude. Like,
seriously?
Yeah, no, dude. There's fucking lunatics out there.
Okay.
Whoa.
Off the air, I'll tell you.
All right.
Jeez. I love how surprised he is. Jeez.
Well, you can mention the amount.
Absolutely crazy people out there.
If someone doesn't want to answer a question, a good podcaster would probably just skip right over it and move on. To give Ethan the benefit of the doubt, he was still pretty new to podcasting. Ethan clearly thought Bill's reasoning for not answering the question was silly, but some people genuinely take their privacy seriously. Ethan saying, geez, comes off extremely childish and will make someone with a short temper blow a fuse. Bill held it together for the most part, but his patience was running out.
When you were getting booed by thousands of people
I was
in
hoping
Philly.
you were. I was like, when you said my favorite YouTube video, I was like, oh God, not the Philly thing again. And then you did the Sherry's Berries. I was like, I love this podcast. Now I hate you.
Oh no.
I love. What can I do? I love that.
I'm joking. I'm fucking with you. Go ahead, let's do it.
But do you? But no, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna ask you.
Were bullied. And you've been booed before.
You've talked about this a lot.
Probably more than the grape lady.
I didn't realize.
No, but go ahead. Let's do it.
Well,
let's
now
do it.
frankly,
I like making
to skip it.
You gotta learn to read the room, but like Patrick said, it is early into the career.
And that's the thing. Like, that's definitely understandable. You're learning. You're trying to, piece things together, see what works, see what doesn't work. Just hopefully, as time went on, it got better.
But that's the good and the bad thing about it. With the realm of the age and time we're living in right now, everybody is able to just grab a mic and do something. Yeah. But it's like everybody wants to grab a mic and do something instead of studying studying the art of and learning how to do this properly. Like study the greats and just see how they interview style. Exactly. Pay attention to radio broadcasters and study those. Like me, even when I was in college, I was reaching out to people who are in radio broadcasting. I was able to talk to certain artists and stuff, and just pick their brains and stuff, and just see how you should go about doing certain things. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's just a part of educating yourself before you jump into a lane. You know what I mean? Thanks. So, to each his own. Oh. Sorry.
I didn't realize.
No, but go ahead. Let's do it.
Well,
let's
now,
do it.
frankly,
I like making you uncomfortable.
Again, this subject was something Bill did not want to talk about, and when he called Ethan out on it, Ethan got defensive. Nevertheless, Bill talked about the Philly incident, and he wasn't happy about it.
Well, I love that moment. I love everything you do. The great.
This is how you turn it around. Well, made you uncomfortable. Now you fucking sit here and compliment me.
I almost made it through. Don't make an ass of myself. I got so close.
What are you talking about? I had a great time.
I did too. I really did.
I hope you did. I'm worried about you.
I did. I'm playing it up. I'm playing it up.
All right.
But I'm trying to be funny, but
This was just an hour of Bill Burr shattering Ethan's ego when an online joker meets a real comedian. This situation was very similar to the Theo Von episode. On the surface, these awkward podcasts with Ethan and Theo seem harmless. Bill is just being himself and ends both pods saying he had a great time, but it negatively affected Ethan more than you'd imagine. Many people called Ethan too sensitive.
And after that episode with Bill Burr, I came home and that's when I started taking antidepressants and I went to therapy.
Wow.
It was soul crushing. It felt like a rock bottom for me because I was having a hard time with the podcast and interviews in general. And that for me was just kind of like the culmination of a lot of stress.
And that this was a reality check considering all the people he had made.
But he still does podcasting now, right?
I guess so, yeah. I know him. I've come across him before, but I've never like watched or listened to his podcast.
When you're going into the world of media and journalism, you're gonna run across like things that happen for a reason. You got to chunk that up to a learning experience.
Yeah.
Everything's not gonna be perfect, unless you go through the years. You're supposed to wisen. You're gonna run it like that Bill Burr one. That wasn't gonna be the first and last time. Yeah. But that shouldn't throw you down the realm of depression. But who am I? Also, you could have been dealing with other things, and that could have just been a trigger effect.
And basically, that's what he said. He was already like, it was already kind of hard. He was already kind of dealing with, trying to learn the ins and outs of it, and then that just kind of took him over. Because and that's the thing. But
what it could have been from somebody just looking at this from the outside, I don't know how he is now, but just from the viewpoint of it, rushed into the podcasting thing too fast at that like altitude. You get what I'm saying? Like it's like shoot straight up instead of a gradual climb into interviewing at that level, like somebody at that level. Okay. Instead, you should have started off slowly, just having a podcast and talking. And then as you start bringing other people on. Because I think you still need to build a foundation for what you're going to do, and people should adapt to you first. Even though you already a familiar face to a lot of people, you are already famous on YouTube, but still take a slow, gradually approach to the podcasting lane, because it's one thing being a YouTuber, and it's another thing about being a journalist, because that's, again, where I look at podcasting is journalism. Yeah. So journalism, I think he should have, rode the wave a little slower, and built yourself up to the point where you was ready to interview someone of the likes of Bill Burr. When you just start off and you already like going up too fast, that anxiety and that stress and that depression will kick in faster too. Mm-hmm. So I feel like with anything you do, you should take a slower approach to it. You get what I mean? Yeah.
A lot of stress.
And that this was a reality check considering all the people he had made fun of over the years. But Ethan had Bill back 1 year later, and it went great. However, there was one time where it seemed like Bill was the one who was genuinely uncomfortable around an interviewer. A small production called Southside Steve TV on 100.5 Rock Radio interviewed Bill in 2008. Bill was immediately put off by the man's weird style and country attire, sizing him up immediately. Steve made a critical error, asking a comedian to tell a joke during an interview.
So I figure I'll toss you a mic and you go.
And I'm going to do stand-up in front of 9 people in a radio station? No, I'm not doing that.
Well, you're taking the fun out of Southside Steve TV.
I'll take, how about I give you $5 and I want to watch you line dance and I'm a racist cowboy.
I don't know how to line dance, dude.
Okay.
It's hard to tell whether Southside Steve is just a character or if he actually is just obnoxious and clueless.
Okay.
Are you a racist?
No, I'm not a racist.
But Bill always makes sure to get a few jabs in.
You know what he looks like? He looks like the first guy who gets his ass kicked in a Steven Seagal movie.
Bill jokingly said that this was the worst interview he has ever done. And in true Bill fashion, he did an interview years later and bonded with the man.
That last video we did, a lot of people thought that like I was seriously upset with you.
No.
At least on YouTube. I can't believe that there's morons on YouTube that didn't believe that I was having a good time.
You think that we're not friends? You think we don't walk away from this and hug it out? I like this guy.
Just because he has a NASCAR accent and I sound like some prick from Boston.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean we can't find a common ground.
Yet despite all of Bill's roasts, jokes, laughing at people. He hates when people make fun of comedians. Kill Tony is a live comedy show that takes place every week in Austin, Texas. The show is hosted by comedians Tony Hinchcliffe and Brian Redban, who invite a celebrity guest, which is typically famous comedians, to join their panel. The premise of the show is simple. Invite aspiring comedians on stage to do a 1-minute set, then roast them for how bad they are in front of a live crowd. For some people, it's their first time doing comedy. Others have been doing it for a few years. And as you can imagine, most of these sets are boring, unfunny, lacking structure, and result in awkward, loud silences from the crowd. Everyone participating in the show understands the structure, and they look at it as constructive criticism for the comedian. Theoretically, it will make them better and let them develop thicker skin. However, when Bill came on the show, he wasn't familiar with the format, and after the first guest, he hated it.
Just compliment someone, put it in the context of a joke, and an idiot will make a fool of himself. Sorry. Ooh.
Sorry.
How much time do I have left? I don't...
Wow, it's a really casual set for you, huh? Maybe not.
That shit awkward.
He's like, here you go. I'm just about to go. Like, he just want to leave.
Bro.
Wow, it's a really casual set for you, huh? Maybe not.
You would have picked one guy. You would have done that. We were shitting on him. He thought it would work. It didn't work.
Yeah.
This is fucking brutal. Is this going to be an hour of this? I don't want to do this to people. It's fucking horrible. Nobody can be funny in a fucking minute. It's stupid.
Oh, no, it happens.
Fucking 2 seconds.
Oh, it happens a lot. Jesse just took a real bullet
fuck
there.
this. You don't even... Fuck this. This is stupid. It's stupid. You're fine. You're fine.
Bill quickly tried to console the guy and shifted the negativity and jokes towards Tony.
There's one more, and then I'm out. All right? There's another one, mean, just to be fucking mean. I'm not doing this for fucking... trying to bring it up here.
I love it. Jesse, you did so bad, one of our guests is about to quit. I don't know what else to tell you.
Oh, if there's a negative lining, Tony will find it. There it is, right between the ray of sunshine. There's that little nugget of negativity. You fucking smarmy fucking...
Then Bill was trying to give genuine advice to the comics.
Yeah, I would just say, just slow down a little bit.
Okay.
Just slow down a little bit, and just the more you do your jokes, the more they'll come off natural. I would just...
But you know the reason why, my bad, because I do that a lot.
Yeah.
But you know the reason why he's like, the comment might be speeding? They only get a minute.
I only get a minute. So I need to get to my little punchline, what I need y'all to laugh, like, in grass.
But even
I
those...
can't do that.
Even those type of jokes will not work.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I have a minute. I have to read how the crowd responds to me.
Yeah.
I can sit in the crowd all day long and try to read the crowd, but it's like, how would the crowd react to me?
Yeah.
That takes more than a minute.
Facts.
Especially if you're not a seasoned comedian.
Facts.
And to be honest, the judges seems like they're able to read the room because they've been telling jokes all day. So yeah, y'all gonna automatically get a laugh out the crowd because now it's kind of low-key bullying.
Right. Do they still do this?
I've heard about this before.
I've seen this before.
Oh, you have?
No, not. I've seen. I feel like I've seen. Yeah, I feel
This
like I've
whole
seen.
setup stuff.
Yeah, this whole. Yeah, I feel like I have.
But
come
I've
across
heard it. I heard about it before.
But I don't. I never like indulged in it or anything. Really like. But and I feel like I guess I'm like, does it work? Or do y'all just like...
Nah, it's just a way for them to make some money because they get the crowd to come in. Because people like, oh, we're going to go watch the judges.
Because I'm like, y'all could give constructive criticism without like being, I guess...
And have a comedian
harsh,
come in
and actually have like an actual,
comedian come in and judge them.
Like
once a month,
give them like some tips and stuff like that. You can build tough skin like that or whatever. You don't have to like be mean and bash
And I say
people.
this, with a lot of people want to be a comedian. Being a comedian is not easy. Everybody is not cut out for everybody. A lot of people think they're funny. I couldn't
dare get up, like.
And I know people who tried to be a comedian.
Yeah.
It ain't for them.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell people, hey, that might not be for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because a lot of people don't want to hear that, they just want you to. You know what I'm saying? Me, I don't try to be a comedian. When I tell my little jokes, I just be joking because I always grew up as a class clown, so I knew how to throw out quirky jokes. But I'm not trying to come up here and be a comedian and tell like funny stories and have a build up and get the
nothing like that.
Yeah, I don't want to be a comedian. I just class clown. I'm a clown.
Go down a little bit.
Okay.
Cool. That's it. It's not a threat. It's just,
But when one of the aspiring comics actually had a good set, Bill decided to give him a few jabs.
Like what's the government?
This dude's a fucking psycho, man. This guy is gonna get his own show, and he's gonna be a lunatic. Like, he has no remorse, no guilt, no fucking responsibility for your own actions. You're a fucking dirtbag, man.
For the next hour, Bill barely said anything. You could tell he didn't like the format and just kind of sat painstakingly through the entire show. Now 7 years later, Kill Tony is at its peak. They are more popular than ever and have had a broad range of massive celebrities come on, yet Bill Burr never returned. Although at times he is aggressive, intimidating, and quick to reveal uncomfortable truths, his jokes are a sign of showing love. He is actually a sensitive guy who just wants people to be the best version of themselves.
That is true. That's true.
And I kind of like, I kind of got that kind of like, even with like certain people that either like called themselves like, you know, wanted to do like be in like that world. Like definitely with them, he's like, okay, like I'm just trying to not like be mean and harsh and like whatever. It's just kind of like
constructive criticism.
that, and kind of like just like building you up for like that thick skin. Like, cause everyone you come across is not going to like you. It's not going to gravitate to you. You know what I'm saying?
Because the comedy game can be very harsh. It can be very, you tell a joke and everybody just look at you. You know how awkward that is?
You have to really like have some
tough
skin to be like, okay, I may go out here, the crowd may not be rocking with me. I just gotta take my L, go back, try it again, and that's just what it is. You know, I feel like.
Yeah,
but,
and I'll say this: a good comedian also know when his joke is a little stale as well.
Yeah, like, okay, that didn't hit.
Because I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes I be telling my little jokes and I be like, yeah, that shit was a little ass. And I'll say it, but I call myself out. I'll be like, and I do that even like with us. And I'll be like, yeah, that was a little ass one. You be like, yeah, that was a little. You be like, I ain't gonna say that quirky. I ain't gonna say that little quirky ass shit.
Yeah,
but and sometimes I can say a good joke, and I can. And one thing how I knew, like, because people had told me, oh, you should try doing a stand up when we used to do comedy reaction, and I can easily bounce work. That's a different form. That's more like improv. I can do good at like just improv, throwing a little extra. Because a lot of times, if it's something I can relate to, I can tell a hilarious joke off of something I can relate to and make probably a bad situation be funny.
Yeah.
Because it's been plenty of time, but just trying to come up with like punchline jokes,
especially something that can like be like, I guess relatable to like a crowd of people. Everyone's like cause me, like I like dark humor type. That's why like Bill like is like the way he like
he's very
stuff,
sarcastic.
He's very sarcastic, and I love that. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm cool with that. Like it don't like, you know, but for some people they don't like that and it'll bother them and it'll get under their skin. They be like, that's not funny. That's not, you know what I'm saying?
And if y'all can hang with me in real life, my sarcastic, I'm way more a sarcastic joker, and honestly I'm a very like non-filter person, and I would say stuff like it probably would hurt people, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not intending to hurt people. I'm just a goofball, and I talk about like all types of stuff, and I'm just very goofy individual. But when it comes down to like comedy and stuff, I do feel like a comedian does need to have a tougher skin. And I'll say this as well. I wish people would stop calling themselves a comedian, because we are in a day and age where everybody wants to call themselves a comedian. And I'm like, just because you might do a skit or two doesn't make you a comedian. Just because you might host a podcast and y'all crack a couple jokes in there do not make you a comedian. Yeah. I think the real respect of comedians goes to those who does like hustle the grind of comedy. Yeah. And it's not easy to go up there and really tell jokes and be able to, you know what I'm saying, rock out jokes in front of a crowd met full of people. I think TikTok, this whole social media wave, has given too much light on some people who don't need a light. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the realm of comedy, because everybody calling themselves comedians nowadays, and I just be like, God damn, bruh, that shit ain't funny.
Not fair.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it in the comments, man. But as always, I do go by the name of DJ Kid. This is we are.
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar, 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 dollar.